भोले भांग तुम्हारी में घोंटत घोंटत हारी, और एक दिन आगे हो तो भोले रोज ना घोंटी जाए। वो भांग तो सबसे प्यारी है भगवान के लिए।
यहाँ पर भांग चढ़ती भी है भोलेनाथ को, और लोगों ने इसके मतलब प्रति खाती भी प्रसाद समझ के।
भांग एक्चुअली यहाँ पर एक बहुत पुराने सेलर है जिनका नाम लीलाधर खंडेलवाल है, वो ही यहाँ पर सेल करते हुए आए हैं और बहुत अच्छी भांग बनाते हैं, जो कि अपने भोले बाबा का प्रसाद माना जाता है।
फर्स्ट क्लास भांग देते हैं, जूस में, लस्सी में, मतलब यहाँ की फेमस है। उनका सर आदमी आता है तो भगवान भोलेनाथ का प्रसाद के रूप में थोड़ा बहुत तो लेते ही है। तो कोई जैसे यात्री आता है वो 5 गोली भी ले जाता है, 21 गोली भी ले जाता है, 151 गोली भी ले जाता है, उस हिसाब से भगवान को चढ़ाता भी है। भोलेनाथ का श्रृंगार भी होता है। भांग में ये सर कि हम उसको साफ़ सुथरा करके बनाते हैं। पानी में 3 बार उसको धोते हैं, धोने के बाद उबालते हैं, उबालने के बाद फिर उसको धोते हैं, और धोने के बाद मशीन में उसको पीसते हैं, और पीसने के बाद व्यवस्थित साफ़ सुथरा जो रहती है भांग। दूध, दही, मेवा, मिष्ठान जो भी चढ़ता है, और ये भांग का जो रहता है उसके अंदर निमित्त जरूर भांग का होना, उससे भगवान प्रसन्न बहुत होते हैं और बहुत रहते हैं। कि इनकी मेन चीज़ जो है वो है।
Let's look for a place. A place where you get lost to find yourself. A place you go in search of inner peace. Experience serenity. Chase calmness. Observe. Watch the skies turn golden. See dreams etched in stars. Let's visit Amarkantak, a place where time stands still.
मंदिर का नाम है बानेश्वर। तो अहिल्या माता जी वहाँ पर शिवलिंग की वहाँ पर भी पूजा करने के लिए जाते थे।
मंदिर बना हुआ है बीच में। ये जो है ध्रुव तारा जो होता है बीच में होता है, मेन जो चमकता है तारा भी उसके सेंटर से मिला हुआ है, एकदम बीचों बीच मिला हुआ है। अगर आप स्केल लेके भी खींचेंगे तो भी आप इधर उधर नहीं होगा, एकदम राइट सीधा ही मिलेगा इससे। है कि अहिल्या माता के समय से बना हुआ है। जो अहिल्या माता होती थी वो बीच मंदिर में चप्पू वाली बोट से जाती थी, जो हमारे पूर्वज चलाते थे, हमारे दादा वगैरह वो जाते थे हमको लेके। सुबह 5 बजे अर्चना करती थी, पूजा अर्चना करती थी।
सर्व मनोकामना पूर्ण करने वाली सर्वशक्तिमान जगत जननी भगवती माँ नर्मदा जी हैं। उनकी कृपा प्राप्ति के लिए महाआरती के रूप में ये आराधना हम सब करते हैं।
अब हम संवेद स्वरों में नर्मदाष्टक का पाठ करें।
28 जनवरी 2012 को इसका ट्रायल हुआ था। अपने इसकी विशेषता है कि अपने निश्चित समय पर प्रारंभ होकर निश्चित समय पर ही समाप्त होती है। प्रारंभ से ही एक मन में रहा है कि जहाँ रहें वहाँ स्वच्छ रहे। संकल्प लेने से वो उस भाव में आ जाते हैं कि स्वच्छ रखें। मैं आज संकल्प लेता हूँ कि माँ नर्मदा जी के पवित्र जल में कोई भी अपशिष्ट पदार्थ, कोई भी कूड़ा कचरा प्रवाहित नहीं करूँगा तथा माँ नर्मदा तट को स्वच्छ तथा सुंदर बनाए रखने हेतु सदैव सहयोग प्रदान करूँगा। आप कितने ही बड़े टेंशन में हो, आप आ जाएं यहाँ तट पे, 10 से 12 मिनट लगेगा तो ऐसा रिलीज़ हो जाएगा टेंशन कि आपको लगेगा कोई टैबलेट ले ली। ये वाइब्रेशन है यहाँ के, अंदर से ही बहुत बड़ी प्रसन्नता होती है। अनायास सब जो जिसको देखो वही खुश नज़र आएगा।
One of the most prominent pilgrimage sites of Madhya Pradesh, the Omkareshwar temple derives its name from the sacred word Om. It stands on the Mandhata in the Narmada river in honor of Lord Shiva. When seen from above, the island resembles the Hindu symbol Om. It is this shape that has given the temple its name. The Omkareshwar temple is said to be one of the 12 Jyotirlings of Shiva. Jyotirlings are believed to be Swayambhu, which means that they are self-born. Legend says that once upon a time, Shiva had turned himself into lings at these particular places of worship. Similar to the Omkareshwar temple is the Mamleshwar temple, which is separated from the former by a narrow ridge. People believe that the ling forms of both the temples are one single form of Shiva, who had split himself into two. While one half of the Jyotirling became the Omkareshwar temple, the other became the Mamleshwar temple. There are many legends associated with the Omkareshwar temple. According to one legend, there was once a war between the gods and demons, in which the demons won the battle and wreaked havoc in all three realms. Concerned with the situation, Indra approached Shiva and asked him to re-establish the reign of God and spread peace. from the underwaters of the Narmada emerged Shiva in the form of a Jyotirling. Shiva, along with the other gods, fought another gruesome war and won over the demons. Peace was thus restored in all three realms. According to another legend, it is believed that once sage Narad sang praises of Mount Meru in front of Mount Vindhya. This caused Mount Vindhya extreme jealousy, who prayed to Lord Shiva for more grandeur than Mount Meru. Lord Shiva granted Vindhya's wishes of perpetual growth on the condition that his growth would not affect or harm any pilgrims. Vindhya agreed to the condition. As time passed by, Vindhya forgot his promise and grew so big that he blocked the sun and the moon. This frightened the pilgrims. They helplessly approached and sought the help of Agastya Rishi, who then devised a plan to trick Mount Vindhya from growing further. Agastya Rishi sought Shiva's blessings and approached Mount Vindhya to ask him for passage to the south. Vindhya refused to allow this passage. Agastya, having been granted powers by Lord Shiva, was able to grow his hands long enough to reach Vindhya's peak. Thereafter, he pressed it below with such enormous force that the earth cracked and Vindhya went right down. Upon realizing his mistake, Vindhya begged for forgiveness. Agastya Rishi ordered Vindhya to not grow until he would return with his wife. The sage never returned, and this brought a stop to Vindhya's growth. When Shiva had granted Vindhya's wishes, he had placed two Jyotirlings next to him as a sign of his boon. It is these Jyotirlings that came to be known as Omkareshwar and Mamleshwar. The Omkareshwar temple has a striking feature that distinguishes it from the other temples. The main Shiv Jyotirling in the temple is not situated under the dome, where idols of gods are usually kept. The Jyotirling is instead located at the top of the temple. It is not fixed to the ground, but is placed in a spot where water surrounds it. Pilgrims believe that going around the Om-shaped island will fetch goodness and blessing. It is also believed that by performing puja on the banks of the Narmada river, one can achieve health and happiness in life.
Divine restriction, most certainly yes. There is so much in Madhya Pradesh. It is representative of India like no other state is. If you treat Mahakal as death, Shiv as representing death, or person who ended death, can conquer death, then it has a special significance because we as mortals are afraid of death. Kal is also time because Kal eats us all, in a manner of speaking. So if time we represent, Mahakal represents the eternity of time which holds all of us in bondage. It is one of the Dwadash Jyotirlings of Shiva, and they have a fantastic ritual there in the morning which makes the hair on your body stand out. They have the Bhasma Arati, with the hot ash from the cremation ground is brought and the Shivling is bathed in that, and people worship that. But that is not, people would say, superstition. No, it is a reminder that everything ends in death, and the cycle of death and life goes on. The temple is on an island on the river Narmada, where the bend of the river describes an Om, the figure of Om, which is the primal sound. There are 12 major Shiva temples, and this is one of them. It is also one of the Dwadash Jyotirlingas. Bada Ganpati, I think, is only unique in the sense that it is a separate temple dedicated to him, which normally doesn't happen. He is found in the vicinity of a Shiva temple as a favorite child of Parvati. And then you say that, look, he is a Siddhidayak, he is a Vignanashak, you begin all work there. So if you are inclined to orthodox Hindu worshipping, you would prefer to go to a Bada Ganesh temple. So you could argue that this Bada Ganpati came with the Maharashtrian influence to this area and has since acquired a significance due to association with the Shaivite tradition in the area.